Yellow again, guys. It's your coach here, back with another what if video on the channel. Guys, I'm gonna be stopping Naruto what ifs for a bit. I'm gonna be posting some Dragon Ball what ifs now. I found some other shit I'm interested in right now. So I'm gonna start with some Dragon Ball what ifs. This is what if Goku was smart, the movie. Yeah, it could be the movie or it will be divided into parts, but I'm just gonna say the movie. So let's get straight into the video. This is what if Goku was smart. Let's go straight into it. So we're gonna start this video off, on Planet Vegeta, or yeah, like the same planet, where Frieza is about to destroy the planet. Um, Goku's father Bardock and Gine, his mother, decide, they're like, the smartest people, on Planet Vegeta. Let's say like, they were scientists in a way. They're the ones who developed, the pods, the same pods. They're the ones who developed the same pods because they were geniuses, and they also did like the space flight and everything. So the Saiyans will be capable to go and conquer other planets. So Guinea, and Bardock had made a special pod for Goku. This pod, is gonna feed Goku with the information on the Saiyan race, everything there is to know about it, his roots, and everything. As well as the pod is gonna keep him safe until he reaches Earth, where he'll hopefully find some people who raise him in the right way. So Bardock launches the space pod as he Goku exits the planet's atmosphere through the backside of the planet, so that Frieza will not be able to see it. So Frieza then fires his death beam, destroying the planet. As Goku in his pod feels like a part of him has been lost, but he's still a kid, so he's not gonna know much. So we continue on until Goku's pod has arrived on Earth, where we see, our humble Grandpa Gohan. Grandpa Gohan, finds him in the forest, but this time, Goku does not bump his head. No, he does not bump his head. I repeat, he does not bump his head. Cause, I think that's what made Goku dumb. Just my thinking. Just my thinking. Nothing against Goku or anything. That's just my thinking. So, Grandpa Gohan, finds Goku. As he also finds the pod. But he takes time and reads what's in the pod, and they're like some instructions which he's capable to read. He then reads, this is like the last the last survivor of a destruction of our planet. There are books, on our planet's history which he's supposed to read. So dear to the person who has found them, please make our son, read these books and everything. Our names, are Bardock and Gino. We're the parents of this here child, Goku or Kakarot, his same name is. So Grandpa Gohan, is like people are getting wiped out, in the universe. So he decides to take care of Goku. So he takes the pod, since I think he's strong enough. He takes the pod, back to his house as well as young Goku. So Grandpa Gohan, raises Goku, giving him the books, and he actually sees, that Goku is actually like a prodigy of sorts. He's smart. So he tries to introduce Goku, to like everything of the outside world, and Goku gets to learn everything. He also then comes across, the room of the Dragon Balls. Yeah, so Grandpa Gohan, he's not gonna die in this one. I'm keeping him, cause I'm gonna need him later on. So after this, Goku is like the legend of the Dragon Balls. Is maybe if I gather these, magical Dragon Balls, I might ask, some questions I wanna know. Since Goku has already started the history of the Saiyan race, he also came across the rumor, of Super Saiyan. So Goku then says, maybe if I can train towards this, maybe I'll become strong and be able to protect my precious people. So Goku begins his training. He asks like Grandpa Gohan if he could train him for a bit, and Grandpa Gohan happily obliges, and he starts teaching Goku some moves. So Grandpa Gohan then says sends Goku to one of his best friends, Master Roshi. So Goku heads over to Turtle Island, where he finds Master Roshi there. And he then tells that he has been sent by Grandpa Gohan, which Master Roshi is like, oh, Grandpa Gohan, oh my friend. So he then begins to train Goku in the turtle style and teaching him lots of some martial arts. which Goku is a prodigy at and catches fast. So Master Roshi then he also shows Goku like how he can bulk up, which Goku has a hard time in doing since I think it's like Master Roshi's speciality, like the bulking up item. So continuing on, Goku then continues on his training. He also eventually learns the Kamehameha wave and the evil containment seal, where you can seal things into those little jars with seals on them. So after Goku is travels for a bit, going across the world, learning different cultures, seeing different things. He eventually comes across Bulma, who has a Dragon Ball. So she also like uses a Dragon Raider to find that Goku has a Dragon's Ball, which it was like Grandpa Gohan's Dragon Ball, as well as Master Roshi's. So Goku has two Dragon Balls. So Bulma then asks Goku for his Dragon Balls, which Goku is like, my two Dragon Balls. I'm searching for the Dragon Balls as well. Which she's like, let's help each other out. So this is where the relationship between Bulma and Goku begins. So I think you guys are already seeing the obvious ship in this. So Goku and Bulma then start going across the world, being together and all sorts. Since Goku is smarter, he's not dumb. He actually, helps Bulma rather than, just being plain stupid. So Goku begins to help Bulma in the search for the Dragon Balls, which like they go across a lot of places, but they eventually like find them. They find all the Dragon Balls. After finding all the Dragon Balls, Bulma makes a wish, which we're not sure which one it was, as then Goku also asks for a wish, which Shino didn't say speak. So Goku then says, I want all the knowledge of all Saiyan transformations, and how to perform them. So Shino then says your wish is granted and gives Goku the information on all Saiyan forms. So there's one like final wish. Let's just say Kami was a lot stronger, so the Dragon Balls would give three wishes like Porunga. So Goku then says, I wish to be like a genius, like very smart. I wish to be like the smartest person in the universe. Which Shinron is like, very well. So Shinron then gives Goku, with all his knowledge. Imagine all that ancient knowledge, bruh. All the knowledge. So Goku then gets that knowledge and Goku then says, okay, that's what I need to do. So Shinron then disperses himself as he spreads all across. As Bulma is pretty happy that she's done her wish. So Goku and Bulma, like keep in touch. As later on, you're gonna see something special. So we then go about the time when Goku is gonna meet Chi-Chi. So Goku saves Chi-Chi as usual. I don't really know. So guys do not hate me. I don't know. Really don't know the past of Dragon Balls. So I'm just gonna bear with me on this. So Goku, let's just say Goku saves Chi-Chi for some bandits which wanted to rob her. So after Goku rescues Chi-Chi, when Chi-Chi asks Goku, that when we are older, will come and make me your bride. Goku's like, no, nah. I will have to first, know each other to see, if we can go well together. Which, Chi-Chi, like, grumps a bit, but, she just understands it. So, Goku then carries on his training. So, the martial arts tournament, the first tournament of martial arts comes around, which this time Goku is the one who wins. It then reaches the point, where, like, the Pilaf gang until King Piccolo from, the rice cooker, I think that's what it was. And you know, um, Goku then gets invited, to the lookout. So when Goku goes to the lookout and meets, Kami and Mr. Popo, Goku, is like very happy. He then asks, if Kami could teach him some stuff. Which Kami is like, yeah, okay, fine. So Kami then teaches Goku, some techniques, which, will like make Goku much more efficient. Goku then says, Kami, is there a place, where I can train? This place, like a place where time transcends, where like if I'm training one day outside here, it's like much longer in there. Which Kami then says, oh yes, there is a place right here on the look at Goku. It's called the Room of Spirit and Time. So, Goku then says, so have you ever used it before? Which, Kami's like, no. So, Goku then says, so how are you gonna defend Earth? You're like Earth's guardian. How are you gonna keep Earth safe, from threats and everything? Which, Kami's is like, they're not that strong threats, he says. So, Goku then goes inside there and begins his training. So, Goku begins to train to get stronger. So, as let's just say, 2 years into Goku's training in the Room of Spirit and Time, he manages to unlock Super Saiyan. Which then says, so this is Super Saiyan. So, Goku keeps on pushing himself to get stronger and stronger and stronger since, he wants to protect his precious people. People, which he wants to keep safe. So he keeps on training and pushing himself until he eventually unlocks Super Saiyan 2. Which, Goku feels the increase in power. So, he then decides, that he's ready, to go and face, King Piccolo. So, Goku then asks, for the location to where King Piccolo is, as, Kami gives it to him, and, Goku then goes off. So this time the fight with King Piccolo goes much, much different. Goku, beats the guy black and blue, not even wasting time. So, after doing that, he then, goes to charges the Kamehameha wave. King Piccolo just in time speeds out, Piccolo Jr., like the egg. So, with, where the, most of his power is. So, Goku then kills, King Piccolo. So, Kami, and this other person are now, connected, and Piccolo Jr. are connected. So, we then move on, to the next, tournament, where, Goku has been training. Because, I think it takes about a year for these tournaments. Goku has been training to get really strong, very strong. So, Goku by this time, you can just say he's unlocked Super Saiyan 3. I know you guys might say that, he's a bit overpowered, but, Goku is smart. He has to find a way, to do this. He has to find a way. So we just say that Goku, that's why I named it Goku is smart. So, the tournament comes around where, Goku and Piccolo fight. By this time, Goku, having a bit of his Saiyan instincts in there, and he still has his tail. He beats the shit out of Piccolo, and tells Piccolo that, if he wants to get stronger, he must train with them. So, Piccolo eventually agrees when they head over, to Kami's lookout. When they go to Kami's lookout, they start their training. So, so Goku and Piccolo go into the realm of spirit and time. Where Goku, just wants to, perfect his Super Saiyan 3 transformation, cause it takes a shitload of stamina. It drains him really hard. So they begin their training, with Piccolo also getting stronger. So, Kami then sees, there's a change in Piccolo and then decides, to name Piccolo the next guardian of Earth. So him and Piccolo eventually then merge their power and become, a stronger entity, a stronger guardian. So, they then begin training with Goku to get stronger. So when just say, the Dragon Balls, have also gotten stronger, they have much more power since, Piccolo and Kami merged and, they're training with Goku, so they're getting stronger. So initially, all the Z Warriors are gonna get much, much stronger as well. So, we're gonna move on, to Goku. So, after Goku's training, with Piccolo, he then heads down where, he sees Bulma. So, Bulma has been going around the world recently, looking for different things to be doing. She's been going around the world differently. So, Bulma has also started a company named Capsule Corp. She's developing some technology and everything with the help of her father and mother. So, they started Capsule Corp. So, Goku, then heads over to Bulma and says, hey Bulma, how you doing? Bulma then says, oh, hi Goku, I'm on you. So, Goku then, like, shyly asks and says, like, Bulma, will you go out on a date with me? Which, Bulma has been longing to hear Goku say these words for a long time, since, they have been friends for a while, and, she actually trusts him to an extent. So, Bulma then says, yeah, yes, Goku, let's go on a date. So, Goku and Bulma's date, eventually develops, into a relationship, where they get together from time to time, you know, have, some makeout sessions, do a lot of stuff, but they haven't done the nasty yet. Not yet. Nope, not yet. So, they keep on getting together and everything. So, eventually Goku, makes a move on Bulma. So, he then asks Bulma if Bulma could marry him. Which Bulma immediately says yes to Goku, which Goku is pretty happy about. So Chi then hears the news of Goku getting married to Bulma, which he's pretty pissed about. And she says that Goku, you promised me. Which Goku then says no. I said we have to first know each other first. But I've been friends with Bulma for a very long time since our childhood together. So it was just an obvious option that I was gonna pick her first. So Chi then accepts this, but she redundantly, but she eventually accepts this truth, which is there. So Bulma and Chi, no, Goku and Chi eventually like have their first son, which they name him Gohan as usual, but this Gohan has Bulma's hair, which is blue. I think he has like Bulma's hair, but it's a spiked out version of Goku's hair. It's sort of like that. It's spiked out. It's like low at the back and spiked in the front, like Gohan's haircut. So Goku and Bulma are leaving at Capsule Corp, like what Vegeta was doing. So yeah, let's continue on. So um, the Namek arc, eventually comes around. When they hear about Frieza, which Goku is Frieza from like I think it's the Supreme guy who tells them, or as Kobito guy who tells them about the Tyrant Frieza who is coming. No, it's not that one. Sorry. So the Raditz art comes in, where Raditz travels to Earth in search of his brother. So Raditz uses his car to scan for some high power levels and finds a high power level at Capsule Corp. So he then immediately heads over to Capsule Corp, and the meeting is more or less the same, with Raditz eventually fighting Goku. But this time Goku does not kill Raditz. Goku is smart. So he then asks Raditz what he's doing here, which Raditz then says about the Tyrant Frieza, which Goku then says, oh, okay, cool. So Raditz then scans Goku's power level, which his power level immediately blows off the scouter, which Raditz is shocked about. So Raditz then asks Goku how he got so strong, which Goku then explains to him that he's been training for a very long time, and he has also achieved Super Saiyan, which Raditz is shocked about that his young brother has clearly surpassed him. So he then asks for Goku to train him so he can also achieve Super Saiyan. So they then head over the room of Spirit and Time, where they spend a week training in there, and Raditz eventually achieves Super Saiyan. So Vegeta and Nappa eventually make it to Earth, where they meet up with Goku and Raditz. So Vegeta still wants to be all pompous and stuff, which Goku immediately puts Vegeta in his place as well as Nappa, showing them who is the strongest. So Vegeta's pride is crushed. Like seriously, Vegeta's pride is crushed. He cannot do shit about it because he knows Goku is much stronger than him. So they fight and begin training together in preparation to go take care of Frieza. So immediately they eventually head over to Namek with the help of Piccolo, who knows like Kami's ship. They gave it to Bulma, which Bulma remade it and put a gravity chamber inside because Goku asked for it. So now they immediately head over to Namek. This time it's much faster since Goku was also helping in the engineering of this ship. So they head over to Namek. When they arrive at Namek, Goku asks Bulma if she could Bulma and Piccolo could gather the Dragon Balls, which they head over start gathering the Dragon Balls. And Frieza is also doing the same. He's also gathering these Dragon Balls. So Goku then goes and meets up with Elder Guru, which he and Elder Guru talk for a bit. Which Goku then says it's about Frieza the Tyrant. He wants to to take the Dragon Balls and make a wish, which Elder Guru is reluctant about. And then he then asks Goku if he could unlock his potential, which Goku then says you can unlock my potential, which Elder Guru then nods. So Elder Guru then unlocks Goku's potential, which we know is nearly limitless. There is no limit to Goku's potential, except for Gohan, who wasted his potential. I'm disappointed in Gohan. He wasted all that stuff, bruh. You even got your potential unleashed, bruh, He chose to be a family man. How you gonna protect them if you cannot even power up to Super Saiyan, bruh? That's just weak. No cap, that's just weak. I feel like Goku inwardly was disappointed in his son, but he never showed it. He was just disappointed. So continuing on with the story. So after Goku gets his potential unlocked, Raditz, Vegeta, and Nappa do the same. So Nappa is also gonna grow some hair on his bald head. Sorry about that, guys. I think I'm catching a cold. So Nappa also has hair in this story, so he doesn't look, all bald and shit. So they get their potential unlocked, but he doesn't like unlock it fully like Goku's and Raditz's, cause he can sense, between Nappa and and Vegeta, they're not, of pure heart. They're pure. So Frieza then pulls up and the fight begins. So Vegeta and Nappa take Frieza's goons, which with the help of Raditz as well. Goku, then faces Frieza. So Frieza, then like goes from his tiny form to like his normal like base form. I think the normal form, he's like a bit taller, but he doesn't have any color. So Goku, wastes no time with Frieza. They begin to fight. So with their fight going on, some chaos is raging on. Bulma immediately, like eventually gathers all the Dragon Balls and takes them to the ship, where they also meet up with Elder Guru and the rest of the Namekians there. So after that, they didn't like enter the ship there and take off. Since Goku told Bulma that he'll be right, he'll find a way back. Yes, defeat Frieza here. So Vegeta, Raditz, and Nappa eventually join up with Bulma and the ship as they head back to Earth. So Goku and Frieza's battle reaches its climax, where the planet begins to fall apart. Goku then chops off Frieza's tail, and he then like uses the final Kamehameha wave, and takes him out. But he doesn't entirely take him out, since Frieza then gets tossed into space. So Goku then finds a space pod, or no, he doesn't find a space pod. He finds Frieza's ship, which Frieza's ship is not damaged this time. He enters it and launches it straight out of he just punched some random coordinates, which these coordinates then take him to Planet Yardrat. The ship has a really rough landing, but it suffices. So when Goku reaches there, he meets up with the Yardratians, which these people are very friendly, and they welcome Goku, and they begin teaching him some stuff, which Goku is very thankful for, and he also gives the Yardratians some technology as well to help them like progress more. So with this going on, they back on Earth, the Z fighters who went there have eventually arrived. Piccolo contacts, the Supreme Kai if there's a planet, where he could send, the Namekians, so that, they can be kept safe. So, the Supreme Kai then says, oh yes, we have a planet, we just named it, Namek 2. So, the Nameks are then taken there by the Supreme Kai, where, they're going to continue living on. So, we then see Bulma. She's worried about, her dear Goku, since, he hasn't arrived. She thinks, Goku is dead, but, Piccolo tells her that, Goku is stronger than that. Is much stronger. Hoo-hoo. Sorry about those pictures, guys, but I haven't made a thumbnail for this, so let's continue straight on with the video. So after Goku finalizes his training on Namek, the ship is fully repaired. So Goku then takes off with the ship, as they then head over to that place. So Goku lands at Capsule Corp, which everyone is there, and another person, who this person is Gohan. It's Gohan is in the space pod this time. So Gohan then walks up to his father and says, can we speak in private? Which Goku in a sense is this guy's pure hearted, so he goes and talks with him. So Gohan then says, he's happy to see your dad, which Goku is shocked about. So Goku then says, are you from the future? Which Gohan nods his head and says, yes, I'm from the future after I'm traveled, So he then gives Goku the medicine, which is gonna help him later on, since he tells him that in my time you died of a heart virus which killed you, so this is gonna help. and as well as the androids. He gives them a warning on the androids, and he says, especially Cell, if you can find a way, destroy him, or do something else to Cell. So Goku then asks about Cell in detail, which then says, he was developed, from Dr. Giro. So then says, oh, Dr. Giro, huh? Pretty interesting. So after that, Goku tells his son that you should go and search for the Dragon Balls on Namek. The Namekians are pure people. They might help you. Wish everyone who died in the siege of the androids back, me included as well. Which Gohan is thankful for, and then he heads back to his timeline. So everyone starts questioning Goku where he was, and Goku tells them that he landed on planet Yardrat. He explains when the planet exploded, how in the nick of time he managed to get into Frieza's ship and started it up. So continuing on with the story. After this all this, Goku then and Bulma head off at the Capsule Corp. Where Goku is met with a surprise. His son Gohan and says I'm gonna train Gohan for a bit. So him and Gohan begin their training, which Bulma really doesn't care about it anyway. So we then see Bulma tearing apart Frieza's spaceship, checking out the technology, the healing chambers, and the rest of the technology in it, and develops some capsule ships, so, from Frieza's design, making them better and much more efficient. So the time of the androids comes in, where the androids ravage a city, destroy a city when the Zeroes are called up. During the time between the time Goku's son arrived and the time of the androids, Goku has been increasing his training, since there's a form that he wants to tame. So we all know this form is like the Ozaru form, where Goku turns into a giant ape. So Goku wants to tame his Ozaru. So Goku heads into the desert where it's a full moon. He doesn't have to use the blood sway. He then also invites his brother. So if Goku goes out of control, he must chop off the tail. So Goku then goes into his Ozaru form. So Goku in his Ozaru form, he powers up and starts to shrink, since Goku is smart. He doesn't give in to the great ape's hatred. So Goku starts to shrink, and he then masters Super Saiyan 4, where he has fair except for the middle of his chest. Yes, Goku is gonna be overpowered. I don't care if you don't like it. It's my story. I do what I want. Continuing on, Goku, after mastering this form, he continues on training, and he sees that there are other forms higher than this, but they're gonna need a lot of work. Everyone else is pretty much strong. Piccolo is like Super Saiyan 3 level and power. Um, Vegeta and Nappa have unlocked Super Saiyan 2. Raditz has unlocked Super Saiyan 3. Goku's child, Gohan, has unlocked Super Saiyan 2 as well. He's pretty powerful. He's unlocked Super Saiyan 2. As well as the rest of the Z fighters like Tien, Master Roshi, all the likes. So that they go and confront the androids, which their fight goes on as usual. That bulky android is like programming to destroy Goku. Goku not even wasting time, lays waste to his body, and he kills Dr. Giro. But Goku being wise, smart, he doesn't kill Dr. Giro just carelessly. No, he takes off Dr. Jiro's head and carries the body as well, and the body of 116. He carries them to Bulma's lab, where Bulma plugs in Dr. Jiro's head into a computer, and creates like a software. She can analyze all the data about Cell and the androids. So Bulma then finds out about the bomb and the androids, and they get the bombs removed. So Goku still makes the wish to make them good, and they become good. Cell immediately comes up later in his incomplete form. He devours some people to get more stronger and everything. So Cell then declares everything about the Cell games. He still absorbs the androids to make himself stronger, to get into his perfect form. And Cell is pretty much cocky, since he doesn't know. We can say that Dr. Jiro did not manage to get any of Goku's DNA, since Goku was not careless. He was smart. He was not pretty stupid. So um Cell then declares the Cell game, saying that if people fail, he's gonna destroy everyone. Which 30 fighters agree to this, and there's a week. So Goku then fears the sickness affecting him, which he then tells Bulma that he needs the medicine now. Which Bulma then gives Goku the medicine and puts him into a healing chamber, where Goku spends 3 days in that healing chamber. After those 3 days, Goku wakes up. He's a bit drowsy, but he goes to the room of space and time, where he goes on to further master his power. So the Cell games eventually arrive. So first up is Gohan. So Gohan has been training and he's a bit strong, but he's still a Super Saiyan 2. So Gohan and Cell get on at it and they begin fighting with Cell clearly having the upper hand in this. But Goku then says Gohan, use your full power, which Gohan obliges and he starts using his full power, where he lays waste to Cell. So Cell seeing this powers up even more and starts to push Gohan back. He eventually then destroys Gohan, not killing him, but just like paralyzing him, so he cannot fight. So Goku is happy that his son fought with the best he could. So Goku then takes it into his hands. He then says, "So I'm gonna show you true power." So Goku then goes into Super Saiyan 4. I think I have a photo of that. Let me pause the video for a bit. Yeah, Goku goes into this like type Super Saiyan 4. He goes into that form where he and Cell begin to fight. So Goku and Cell's fight, goes differently. Cell powers up to his 100% and Goku decides, like to power up to like 50%. Goku clears the upper hand in this. So Goku begins to dish divine punishment on Cell, taking him out, is fast and hard. Where Cell eventually vomits both androids and becomes weak. So now Goku wastes no time as then uses, the Kaioken and goes much higher. He uses Kaioken. No, he doesn't have Kaioken. He uses the Kamehameha wave and destroys Cell, taking Cell out. So the androids are pretty happy that they have been saved by Goku, and they also then join the pack of the Z Warriors, the Z Fighters. I'm saying the Z Warriors. Damn. Continuing on with the story, everything begins to progress as normal after the Cell games. We then move on to the Majin Buu arc, where the Supreme Kai or Kabuto Kai comes in and tells them about Babidi and Majin Buu, where the Saiyans being smart at this time, they don't go and fight so that their energy will be taken. They are much smarter. So Goku then thinks about it. He says like, nah, I'm just gonna go and one shot these people. So Goku then goes over to where like Babidi's ship is, and he destroys Babidi, those two other people, and he then takes the egg of Majin Buu. When he takes the egg of Majin Buu, he then calls for the Dragon Balls, and which Piccolo like Piccolo can literally just like call the Dragon Balls to himself. He then wishes for Buu to be good. So Goku then pumps his energy or his ki into the egg, which eventually then hatches as Majin Buu. So Majin Buu, is gonna be good as in the normal time frames. So Majin Buu is gonna be a good boy. So there are then rumors of Frieza returning, which Frieza pulls up with his father King Cold, and his brother Cooler. So Cooler being smart and this, is like, I'm not gonna fight, I'm just gonna dip. So Cooler dips and takes off, going back to the planet where they originate from. So I'm not wasting you guys much of your time. So it goes like this. Frieza challenges Goku, which Goku obliges, and Nappa and and Raditz and Piccolo, they fight, and Vegeta they fight King Cold, which four is like a 4-on-1, and but they're trained to be much stronger, and they also were higher. So they then beat up King Cold, eventually killing him, and then they incinerate the body to make sure he doesn't come back. So Goku beats Frieza black and blue. He then says to Frieza, I left you alive for a reason. I was hoping you'd change, but I see there's no change for you, so I'm gonna have to erase you. So, Goku then powers up, his strongest Kamehameha wave and, takes out Frieza, leaving nothing at all. So, nothing is left of Frieza. So, there's then 7 years of peace. In these 7 years, Gotenks is born. Vegeta got together with Chi-Chi and, they had their son Trunks. Raditz got together with, I think, Bulma's sister, Bula, I think. And, Nappa got together with some random chick. And, they had also a kid. But, they're gonna be irrelevant for the coming up. So, we head over to Capsule Corp, where we see, Bulma sitting, just waiting, for Goku to come back from work. Which, Goku has been working for a bit, He's been, buying some stocks, doing lots of stuff. Since, like, people witnessed Goku and, like, the reporters, witnessed Goku in the Cell games, actually beating Cell. Goku, was the one who was given, the money instead of Mr. Satan. So, Mr. Satan, you're not getting any street cred from this, so no cred for you. Sorry, guys, I have to pause the video for a bit. Sorry for the pause, guys. Continuing on with the video. Goku arrives, from his work, where he sees, Bulma sitting. He then, goes towards his wife and hugs her from behind. And, he kisses Bulma's neck. So, Bulma seeing this sign of affection, she then, starts kissing Goku back. So, they eventually embrace each other in a hug, like in the picture. So, them, engulfing each other's warmth. So, they then begin to talk about their day, how everything has been going on. So, which Goku then tells Bulma that, he's got some deals for Capsule Corp and everything. Which Bulma is very happy about. So, they then hear the door opening as, their son Trunks comes in. Which their son, is Gohan. So, Gohan comes in, looking all cool and everything with his blue hair. Which Gohan and says, hello mom, hello dad, And they say, oh, hello Gohan, and everything. Gohan still introduces Fidel. Which, Bulma teases Gohan to no end, about his girlfriend or crush. Bulma teases, her son to no end about that. But, she's pretty much happy about it. So, I'm gonna skip some other arcs which are in between. So, we then move on to the Beerus arc, mostly. So, at the Beerus arc, we then see on a planet, or precisely Lord Beerus's planet. We then see the destroyer of Universe 7 waking up for his long slumber of 20-something years. He's been sleeping. So, he then wakes up and calls for his assistant, Whis, or the angel who trains him. Whis? Oh, yes, Lord Beerus, you've finally woken up, Whis says. Yes, I've woken up, Beerus says. Whis, I've had, a vision, or a dream, of a Super Saiyan God, Beerus says. Oh, a Super Saiyan God. I haven't personally seen any Super Saiyan Gods in the universe, but I'm sure a planet, where some Saiyans are, I think we should be able to find them, Whis says. Which, Beerus says, Saiyans? I thought I told Frieza to wipe them out. Which, Whis then shows Beerus, the video of, Goku beating Frieza and killing him twice. Which, Beerus is like, that mortal, he seems very strong. Maybe I should fight him. Okay, I'll prepare myself. So, you then, like, see, like, on Earth, it's Bulma's 30th birthday. Goku is pretty much happy, he's with there, all the crew is there, Vegeta is also there, since, because of Chi-Chi's, strict attitude, Vegeta eventually changed himself, to a family-loving man, which, they're happy about. It's good. So, Lord Beerus eventually arrives and says, he wants to fight, with Goku. Which Goku then says, "Oh yes, okay. Oh Lord Beerus, Goku bows in respect, as well as Vegeta and the other Saints. They bow in respect, since they have already known about this guy, as well as the other Z fighters, they know about him. So Goku then says, would you like to try some food? Well, Beerus hears food. He's like, oh, food. Wait, and they then give Beerus some food as well as Whis. So, Beerus and Whis, enjoy these delicious, luscious delicacies which are presented to them, which they enjoy them very much, and they're very thankful for coming to Earth. So there is no pudding incident since this time Goku was the one who was serving Lord Beerus, so he also gave him some of that delicious pudding, which Lord Beerus was happy about. So Beerus then asked Goku if he knew about some Super Saiyan God, which Goku then says, "Oh, Super Saiyan God, yes, I know about Super Saiyan God. A person needs some divine key to unlock that transformation." Which he then says, "So do you have the transformation?" Which Goku then says, "More or less, I do have the transformation, but mine is not long term, since I do not have enough God key to maintain it. I only unlocked it, for a brief few months, but it eventually ran out." So Goku then says, "I'm gonna summon Shinron, so he can give us an answer." So they then summon Shinron. Shinron then tells them the Saiyan ritual. We can then do the Saiyan ritual, to on Goku. So Goku eventually then gains, the perfect Super Saiyan God, the form. So Goku and Beerus's battle goes differently. So Goku and Beerus start fighting as a normal canon up until the point where Beerus launches a big attack. Which this big attack is not really gonna affect Goku in a sense, but Goku's gonna get knocked down. So Goku then starts seeing flashes of his friends, his family. He then hears like some words in his head, Bulma saying, "Goku, don't die, who am I gonna be left with, which Goku, it gives the Goku, the intuition that is there, which Goku powers up immediately and enters, Super Saiyan God 2, where, he's able to, to destroy the attack which Lord Beerus was casting. Then when Lord Beerus, continue clashing at, Lord Beerus eventually powers up to 100% and knocks out Goku. So Lord Beerus is pretty much very happy about this fight, and says, I'm gonna train this person, as well as other people in my universe as well. So Beerus, I'm gonna say, is not gonna be that lazy. In fact, he's not gonna be that lazy. So after that, everyone else enjoys the party and everything moves on as normal. So Goku then asks Bulma, if he could go and train on Beerus's planet. Which Bulma then says, yeah, it's okay, Goku, just be safe. And she kisses Goku, and Goku is pretty much happy. So Goku heads over, to Beerus's planet, where he still does the chores like what Vegeta was doing. Everything. Which he is helping Whis out. So Whis also begins to train Goku. So now as Whis and Goku are training, Goku then unlocks Super Saiyan Blue. Pretty early. He then unlocks Super Saiyan Blue, which he keeps on pushing himself to the limit to master it. He then says, but before I master this form, I have to first master my other form. So Goku then goes into Super Saiyan God, and he pushes his Super Saiyan God to the limit until he eventually achieves Super Saiyan God 4. Where he's like the basic Super Saiyan 4, but with like the red hair and red eyes. So after that Goku then trains in his blue form, getting stronger and stronger. Vegeta there and the other Saiyans hear about Goku training there. They eventually ask Whis when he visits Earth, if they can train as well. Which they all go there and begin their training. So we then see Goku and Whis training. In like the space where like there's a lot of God Ki. Here's just Goku and Whis are training. Whis throws a punch at Goku, but Goku's body moves on its own. Which Whis notices this and says, could it be? Does he have the potential to do it? Whis thinks to herself and says, maybe if I push his training a bit more. So Whis begins to push Goku's training eventually like a lot more and makes it 100 times harder. Which Goku, because he's taking a beating, since he cannot hold a candle to Whis, he eventually activates Omen instant. Inst, what is it called, UI, or like Omen Ultra Instinct. Yeah, he activates Omen Ultra Instinct. Damn it, this voice. So after activating Omen, they begin to fight, which Goku is enjoying this fight, and he's learning. He sees that his body can move on its own. But after a bit, he then like gets knocked out of that form, which Goku then drops down. So as Goku drops down, he then gets hit by that purple lightning, which Whis takes notice of and says, maybe he needs to develop his stamina more, cause this takes a toll on his body. Whis says. So Whis and Goku, get to work, increases Goku's stamina until the point where Goku is like a lot of stamina and endurance that he can keep on going. With the other Z fighters, Vegeta eventually unlocks Super Saiyan 3, and then he goes Super Saiyan 4 and Super Saiyan Blue, as well as the red one as well. He eventually unlocks them naturally, since he's like like a Saiyan from a higher standing. As soon as Snapper unlocks Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan God. Raditz unlocks Super Saiyan God as well, and they progress to Super Saiyan God 2. I think Gohan still gets his potential unlocked as in usual. Nothing changes there. But Gohan has been training a lot more, and Gohan has also achieved Super Saiyan Blue like his father. So Gohan has gotten married at this point, and they already have a daughter. I don't know what name yeah, it was Pan. I think that's what his daughter's name. So Gohan is not a disappointment as in canon. So Goku is pretty much proud of his son that he's kept his training up as well as his studies. So Beerus's brother Champa eventually comes to Beerus. As they have they square off a bit, which Champa then suggests the tournament, which Beerus is very much happy about. So Beerus is like Champa is like if I win this tournament, you have to exchange Earths with the Super Dragon Balls, which Champa, which Beerus says, I agree to these terms, but I also have terms of my own, which Champa is like what exactly do you want? Beerus then says, so if I win, we get to select some people from from Universe 6, and they come to Universe 7. So you guys can see where I'm going with this. Which Champa then agrees. So the tournament is then set up. As it happens to pretty much the same, but everyone is much stronger. I don't know what's like that Frieza copycat. That like Frieza Junior or something. And I don't know what his name was. The fight with Goku goes pretty much the same. He stabs Goku. Which Goku then gets poisoned. Which everyone clearly notices this, and he gets disqualified, and Goku continues on. When it comes up to Vegeta fighting that metal guy, Vegeta doesn't even waste time. He beats the shit out of him. I don't know what his name was. He beats the shit out of him. After beating him, he then insults him a lot. So Gohan fights that balloon guy, and Nappa fights Hit, which Nappa loses. Everything carries on the same until Grand Zeno arrives. So when Grand Zeno arrives, Beerus and Lord and Champa immediately go and bow, which followed by Whis and and Vados, which they just bow lightly. So Goku seeing this, he then walks up to Grand Zeno. When he reaches a bit closer, he then bows his head and says, "Oh, greetings, Grand Zeno." Which Grand Zeno says, "Oh, hey, what's your name?" Grand Zeno says, "Oh, my name is Goku, Son Goku." Which Grand Zeno says, "Oh, Son Goku, you look pretty strong. You know, Goenzen says, and go on, bows his head, thanking the praise. So, Goku then puts his hand out, which Goenzen does, The gods are a bit shocked, but, they let it happen, him and Zeno become friends as normal. So, everything moves on like that. But we're gonna say, the tournament continues and, Grand Zeno stays to watch, saying, this is very fun. Maybe I'll make my own tournament one day, he says to himself, musing. So, after like the end of the tournament, it's clear, that Universe 7 are the victors. So, Fighters, then shows, Beerus, about, the types of people who are there, which, Beerus then says, what of the Saiyans there? Which, they then show, Caulifla and Kel, which, Beerus then says, yes, those two do definitely quite well. We'll take those two. Which, Champa grits his teeth a bit, but, a bet is a bet. There's nothing you can do about it. A bet is a bet. So, Kel and Caulifla are transported over to Universe 7, where I think they're gonna, get together with their fellow Saints. So, I think those guys are pretty much gonna fit well together, since, they are with other Saints, other people of their race. So, Kaba is gonna be left alone on, Spice a dollar. So, Goku Black, still is posed up, but the fundamental in this one is different. Since Goku's Black reality is much different, from this one. We can just say the Goku from that was not as smart and not as strong than this one, so they're gonna be different. So Gohan and comes in as he does the same thing which Trunks did. So Bulma, fix up the time travel craft, which Gohan and his father, go and train, which everything goes like much better. I think no, maybe it should be like Trunks the same thing, but it's not. It's like Chi Chi's son and shit. So just gonna say that stuff comes the same, which Goku Black pulls up, and this time Goku Black gets his ass clapped since the fundamental thing I said is gonna be much different. So he gets his ass clapped, like no cap there. He gets beaten. Immediately after that, they didn't have Vegeta, Goku, and Trunks. They all went to the spacecraft as they move to the future. When they arrive at the future, they're shocked to see this place has been destroyed. So Goku then asks Goku then goes together and starts fighting Goku Black with Vegeta fighting Zamasu. With Trunks going to rescue some people like Ma and everyone else. So Goku Black then says I do you know how I took your body, which it says I used the Super Dragon Balls and to exchange bodies. After exchanging bodies with you, I then went along to kill your beloved wife Bulma. Then I killed your two children, then I killed your grandchild as well. Which Goku gets pissed. Like pissed, to a different scale. He's pretty much, very pissed. So Goku is immensely angry, and he wastes no time. He's not even gonna give Zamasu a chance to fuse with herself. By chance, he's still not gonna fuse. So they end up fighting. With the Supreme Kai also coming in. He then gives Vegeta and Goku the earrings, the Botara earrings, which they merge together and start dishing out divine punishment on Zamasu. So Trunks, eventually comes in and, he then cuts Zamasu open, with Zamasu going into the atmosphere and, doing the same shit he did. But, Goku clicks the button and summons Grand Zeno, as usual, as Zeno arrives. He then asks, if they did this, he then says, did you guys do this? Which Goku and Vegeta are like, oh, no, Grand Zeno, it was him. He then says, get as far away from me as you can. So, Grand Zeno then goes ahead and he destroys, the future reality, which, Vegeta, and Trunks and Goku head back into the past, where, Bulma refills the ship and then travel to the exact same coordinates,
where they find, Grand Zeno floating there. Grand Zeno says, "Hey, Grand Zeno," and then he says, "Oh," so they then take, Grand Zeno to where Future Zeno to where past Zeno is, where they meet up together. Which Grand Zeno is excited about. It says himself and says, "Hey, you look like me," and it says, "Oh, you look like me too." So the Grand Priest, is smiling and says, seems like they're both pleased. So Goku, then, reminds Grand Zeno about the tournament, which Grand Zeno says, yeah, the tournament is also gonna be happening soon. The Grand Priest is gonna fill you in with the details of the tournament. So, the tournament of power. Holy shit. I think I'm gonna leave this what if right here, guys. It's just like, the movie, part one of the movie. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget, to comment. These comments really help me out a lot, guys. So,
Um, for part two of this series, you guys are gonna have to give me like 50 likes and 20 comments. I know you guys can do it. I'm also gonna start doing some fan fiction what ifs as well, and I'm also gonna be launching a new channel. I'm gonna launch the channel. It's gonna be like entirely for what if Deku's, some other strange what ifs which I'm gonna be making.
please like and subscribe to the channel. Peace out, guys.